I think I've been at this microphone for, gosh, a long time. It's 1985 when I came to town, and it was about 2 or 3 years later when they asked me to be the master of ceremonies on one of these things, and I haven't missed very many of them. I've never seen this many people here. I'm stunned. If you had been with me on this road and my fellow other people on the committee, when we started this path of, I forget, it was 20,000 miles, I think we called it, it would never occur to us, I think, that we never really thought about this day. We thought about all of the things that we had to do, the things that we told ourselves, the things that we wanted to accomplish. You know, it's been a real rewarding, I think, for those of us that take part in this. But it should be rewarding for all of you standing here because of what we got out of you. You know, we couldn't have done this, just the 7 of us. We could not have done this without all of the support that we got in every part of the town. This morning, the flag came down to half-mast, and it is still there. And at noon, which is a few minutes away, we're going to haul it up. And while we haul it up, we're going to start this program. We have a major, an Army major here. She wants to open, we want to open with the invocation. So. This is Major Michelle Dorkey, is a chaplain in the U.S. Army. She's retired, and we're glad to have you here.
Good day, all. Thanks for coming out. Good afternoon, friends.
Afternoon.
I'm truly honored to give an invocation on this Memorial Day face-to-face with all of you, because during the corona pandemic, we were all cut off from those things very important to us. Routine, ritual, people, and places. We need both routine and ritual. Routine reinforces our sense of control over our everyday lives. Without ritual, we deprive ourselves of connecting with other members of our tribe and social group. Memorial Day is about remembering the men and women who died while serving our country so that the rest of us can go on living. When our men and women serve our country, they are deprived of a lot of things. I know this. I deployed to Iraq 4 times. We are deprived of family, rest, hot showers, air conditioner, and backyard barbecues. I say all this not to make you sad and not to take away from the joy that you are going to experience this weekend, but for the exact opposite. I want you to live. I want you to love. I want you to laugh. And do not let the loss of life of the brothers and sisters who went before us be for nothing. Enjoy those beaches, the graduations, those visits with families and friends. Let today remind you that every fallen hero desired freedom for community. And just as they were connected to each other, no matter where they were, we are to do the same. Wherever we are and what we are doing, and whatever we are going through, we too are to be connected with each other. Help me today to honor the lives of our brothers and sisters in arms. Let their deaths be not in vain, because we are still standing. So no matter what your circumstances are right now, let us try and help each other out as a community and do it with a smile on our face, with love in our hearts, and joy in our spirits, because we still can. And we remember those we honor, those we thank, and those who lay down their lives so we can still continue to make the best of the freedoms that we enjoy every day of our life. And when you look at that flag, our flag does not fly because of the wind that blows it. It flies because of the last breath of every military person who died protecting it. Amen.
I'd like to ask all of you to stand as we ring and raise the American flag. You'll notice we've taken the liberty of putting the Vietnam flag on the staff.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I personally would like to welcome all of the veterans and their families who have participated in the parade today. It was a great day. And thank you to all of the townspeople who were here attending and are with us here on the Common, attending this special dedication today. As one Vietnam veteran, to those of you here today, welcome home. I'm sure that there are dozens of stories of coming home. Some are going to be worse than others. But what we should remember is that an American fighting force went into combat, and while we suffered significant loss of life and injury, we did not lose a single battle that we were sent to. It is this time for us to stand proud here today as we are welcomed home. It may be years late, but it's happening, and for one, I'm thankful. I wear this uniform proudly, and I can tell you that not once have I been mistreated while wearing it, and I have been thanked for my service on many occasions. Welcome. It's not only the good to be home, but what makes it even better to me is to welcome another Vietnam veteran home. I also want to acknowledge some people who are here. Massachusetts State Senator Ann Goby is with us. Massachusetts State Representative Donnie Berthume is with us. Our town administrator Ryan Mclean, and I'd like to welcome all the town people here who have come to be with us with this on this special dedication day. Annalie Moncour, who is in the 3rd grade at the Hubbardston School, and she is going to be reciting the Gettysburg Address.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. I did it!
I have here a certificate of appreciation for you in recognition today of your reading of the Gettysburg Address. This kid knocked it.
Could you hold it up between you and I can take a picture?
And I'm going to ask her to do this next year. It was a great job. And the next one up is to the podium is going to be Suki Darson, and she's a 5th grader at Hubbardston Center School, and she's going to be reciting Flanders Field. Suki?
In Flanders Field, the poppies grow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, while in the sky, larks still bravely singing, fly unheard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago, we lived, felt dawns, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye bear faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field.
For you, in recognition of your reading on Flanders Field, on behalf of the town, I would personally thank you for the contribution you've made.
Okay, could you hold that up for me here?
I'd now like to call up here Lindsay Coors, and she's a 5th grader at the Hubbardston Center School, and she'll be reciting the Preamble to the Constitution. Lindsay?
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
And Lindsay, here's your gift, your too.
Good, thank you.
I don't know who the teachers were and who the parents are, these kids, As we continue our dedication ceremony, we'll now place an American flag and a forget-me-not and a poppy on the wreath. Would the representative of the United States Army please come forward and place your poppy? Would the representative of the United States Marine Corps please come forward and place your poppy? Would the representative of the United States Navy please come forward and place your poppy? And would the representative for the Air Force please come forward and place your poppy? And would the representative for the United States Coast Guard please come forward to place your poppy?
You might want to ask them to play the Army Anthem because they missed it. They did the Navy twice. So can we hear it for the Army? Okay.
The Hubbardston Militia will now perform their salute to honor our deceased veterans. Please remain standing.
Low. Face. Half cock your locks. Handle your cartridge. Prime with cartridge. Shut your pants. Load At ease, men.
Thank you. And I want to also thank Borelli Music for playing the music, as well as our senior singers here in town. At this time, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Ryan Mclean. He's our town administrator who has just returned from deployment overseas.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our town officials, our Hubbardston Select Board, and our town staff, I appreciate everyone coming today to honor not only Memorial Day, but this special event of installing a brand new Vietnam memorial in town. Briefly, I want to talk about what Tom talked about, which is the concept of welcome home. Just 2 months ago, I returned from an overseas deployment to Hanscom Air Force Base, and there was more than 1,000 people in attendance, to include my family, who was allowed to run up and give me a hug and bring me home and thank me for my service. 10 years prior to that, I came home from Afghanistan, and the first people in line, the first people that were there when you came off the plane, was our Vietnam veteran generation, shaking my hand, welcoming me home, thanking me for my service. And in 2004, in 2005, when I got home from Iraq, the only people that were waiting in line to say welcome home were the Vietnam veteran generation. And when I needed assistance after 2004 and 2005, because of my youth, because of the things that you see in war, it was a Vietnam veteran who looked at me and said, "What is it that you want to do with the rest of your life? Do you want to live it to its fullest? Do you want to do the things that you promised yourself you were going to do? Or do you want to suffer?" And he made me feel like it was okay to go get the help that I needed and to invest in my life, and to now be able to be up here in front of you today enjoying what is a beautiful day. Contrast that to when our Vietnam veteran generation came home. It was a very different welcome. And Tom's allowing me to share a story, and although he has been honored for his service and for his rank and for the things he's done for his country, there was a person who spit at Tom when he came home. I can't even imagine spitting in front of Tom. I have so much respect for the man. He's in his 80s and he still fits in his uniform. It's ridiculous. And countless of other Vietnam veterans have told me the same story, that they came home and there wasn't 1,000 people, there wasn't a parade of folks to shake their hand, and there wasn't someone to tell them to go get the help that they need. It was the opposite. And rather than turn bitter, and rather than turn away from their country, they went the other way and invested their time and their energy and their community service into building the types of benefits that our veterans get now, to advocating for the assistance that they need, and for teaching communities how to welcome their soldiers and sailors and Marines and Coast Guard and airmen and welcome them back to their communities. And it is because of the Vietnam veteran generation that I feel very proud to have served and am able to transition in weeks instead of years to life as a civilian. And for that, I think this country owes the Vietnam veteran generation more thanks than we can possibly give. There was a man, Steve Meager, who was on our Vietnam Memorial Committee. I'm not sure if he's here today, but he came to me and he said, he lived a long time in the town, and he said, it's a shame that we don't have a Vietnam memorial on the Common. We have so many beautiful memorials, and it's such a beautiful Common, and it's such a beautiful town. And he served, and you'll hear the statistics later, with dozens and dozens of veterans from Hubbardston, and he believed that it should happen. And this was in the height of COVID. We had this discussion and trying to plan how could we possibly get an initiative like this going when the world was the way it was. There was a little lull in July, so we met Sarah Wyman, who was our veteran service rep, who's flown all the way up here from North Carolina today to be a part of this day. And Steve and I met where most people meet in Hubbardston to come up with big ideas at the Hubtown Diner. Thank you to the Hubtown Diner. We didn't know if we were supposed to wear masks. We didn't know the rules, but we wanted to meet and talk about it. And we brought it to the Board of the Selectmen, now the Select Board, and we said, it's time. It's time for there to be a memorial in town. The Select Board immediately agreed and put together a committee to explore the idea of putting on a modest, small monument that would recognize Vietnam veterans for their service. Fast forward, the Vietnam Memorial Committee completely took over the project. They took the idea and they expanded on it in ways that I don't think the town could have even imagined. The energy of that committee, and I've done several memorials having served once as a veteran director in a city, I have never seen the energy, I've never seen a community come behind the installation of a beautiful memorial the way that this committee did. They fundraised, they made sure that the messaging was there, they made sure that everybody knew why the monument was going in. And I think today you'll see the end result of that is a community that is ready to welcome home its Vietnam veteran generation with one of the more beautiful memorials I've ever seen. Would the committee please stand up so they can be recognized for their work? In closing, because I promised it would be 5 minutes, although that's not my thing usually, when you say, never forget, when you say, how do we remember? When you say, welcome home, when you say, thank you for your service, it is efforts like these and the fact that there are so many people here willing to celebrate it and honor it and make sure that we never forget. That's what it means. This is how it's done. Well done, Hubbardston. And on behalf of the town, before I leave the microphone here, and on behalf of the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Committee, I'd like to call up Mr. Bill Shea. So you'll see the monument in a minute. It is a beautiful black granite monument similar to the National Memorial in Washington, D.C. Although there were dozens of people, and I'm sure Bill won't take the credit, the driving force behind this day, the restoration of these memorials, and the new Vietnam Memorial here in Hubbardston had a lot to do with the effort and the energy and the focus of Mr. Bill Shea. So on behalf of the town and the committee, here is a replica of our new monument to give to Bill.
I'd like now, thank you, Ryan. I'd like now to introduce our next speaker, and this is Representative Donald Berthium. Donnie's a Navy veteran, currently a member of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, representing the 5th Worcester District. He's been a representative of the town of Hubbardston since 2015. Donnie, it's all yours.
So always jealous of Captain Collier as well, because I'm about 50 pounds from my uniform I used to wear. So thank you, Hubbardston. I've been doing this, like he said, for 7 years. This is the most incredible Memorial Day ceremony I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. Everybody put this together, the Memorial Committee, Claudia, Bill, you guys did a fantastic job. So I was asked by Claudia a few weeks ago to speak today, and she just wanted me to talk about what Memorial Day means. What is Memorial Day? So everybody knows, right? This is the day we get together and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving their country. That easy. So I told this to a friend of mine who's a principal at an elementary school the other day. He pulled up a poll on his phone. A recent Gallup poll had only 28% of the people that were polled knew the real meaning of Memorial Day. So this is unacceptable. I grew up, I was a kid still when the Vietnam War was going on. I grew up in the 70s, born in the 60s. The Korea guys were not that old. The World War II guys are probably my age back then. We owe this to them. So I'm gonna ask you to make a pledge today. Take somebody you know, anyone you know that you think might not know the meaning of Memorial Day, and take 2 minutes and just tell them, because 28% is completely unacceptable. We owe them that. We can do better. So tell them the sacrifices these people made, and sacrifice especially the Vietnam guys, that these people died serving our country so that we remain free and remain the best country in the world. Thank you, everybody.
Next up is Ann Goby. Are you here, Ann?
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
I'm going to need to move this down a little bit. Thank you, and it is an honor to be with you today. And as the daughter of a World War II Navy Seabee, I can tell you that when I visit my dad's grave, thank you, and to see the flags, and I know that the veterans in this community and around our nation make sure that every single serviceman that has passed has a flag at their grave, and it means an awful lot to me and my 90-year-old mother, I can tell you that. Also, welcome home to our Vietnam veterans. It's been a long time, and you should hear that much more, and I want to thank you as well for your continuing service to our community and to our nation, and for the 1,244 Americans still unaccounted for from Vietnam. We will still be here. This nation will be there for them to welcome them home as well. I just had a few words I want to share with you, and because I'm not as good as Anna Lee and Suki and Lindsay, who are able to do it by memory, I do have to refer to my notes a bit. And this may be hard to believe, but believe it or not, politics can be contentious. And back in 1974, there was a very contentious primary. And there were two people involved, and it was for the U.S. Senate seat in Ohio. One of the people you may never have heard of, it was Howard Metzenbaum. But I'm going to assure you that the next person you did hear about, and it was John Glenn. And at that debate, Metzenbaum was a business person. He was trying to make a point that that John Glenn, really hadn't worked. And he said to John Glenn, he said, "How can you be a U.S. Senator if you've never made payroll?" And I'm going to refer to my notes because that was the wrong thing to say to John Glenn. You go with me on a Memorial Day, and you stand on Arlington National Cemetery, where I have more friends than I would like to remember, and you watch those waving flags, and you stand there, and you think about the nation, and you tell me that those people didn't have a job. You come with me to see a Gold Star mother. You look in her eyes, and you tell her her son did not have a job. I tell you, Howard Metzenbaum, you should be on your knees every day of your life, thanking God that there were some men who held the job, and they required a dedication to purpose and a love of country, and a dedication to duty that was more important than life itself. And their self-sacrifice is what has made this country possible. To them, to the fallen, Godspeed, and God bless the greatest country, the United States of America.
Well, now I've got to turn this over to the boss, Bill Shea.
Thank you, Captain. Good afternoon. Hubbardston has always been patriotic. Hubbardston has always answered the call. What I would like from you to do is slow down when you pass some of those cemeteries. Maybe even stop and walk into them and look at the number of flags that are there. That gives you an idea of the contribution that our citizens of Hubbardston from the very beginning have made to keep our country safe and to keep our country free. When we started this project, we really had no idea how many Hubbardston Vietnam-era veterans we would encounter. Our best guess would have been somewhere around 75. We had a number of lists that we referred to, and rosters and lists that were presented to us by local historians and Steve Meager, who grew up in the town and served in Vietnam. But we wanted to be all inclusive. So we did a massive amount of public relations and PSAs and videos and so on and so forth. And we wanted to include everybody. We wanted to give them that welcome home they never got. And boy, were we surprised. The Vietnam era period runs from November of 1955 to April of 1975. And when we finished our tally, and when you see that monument today, it has 204 names on it. Because someone like Tom Collier, who served his country faithfully, 3 tours in Vietnam, he moved into Hubbardston in 1985. So when we asked Tom, is your name on a memorial someplace? He was from Wyoming. He said, not that I know of. Well, we're going to make sure that happens. And it happened over and over again. And I asked many of the veterans, is your name on a monument anyplace? And they said no. So that is the reason why our project got bigger and bigger as it went along. Due to the generosity of our citizens, businesses, and organizations, our initial goal of $30,000 was far surpassed. We raised just under $50,000. No public funds, no municipal funds. And so when we walked up on this common and we saw the condition of the other monuments that honored our veterans, we immediately said, this is bigger than just our Vietnam monument. And so I ask you to spend a couple of minutes walking by those other memorials and realizing that they've been refurbished, they've been refreshed, and the Civil War monument, which was originally erected in 1885, was in really bad condition. If you look in front of it, you'll see the eagle. The head was gone, broken in two. And so we decided we can do it all. So we began the project of restoring, refreshing, refurbishing the other memorials. Hubbardston had a population of 1,000 when the Civil War broke out in 1861. They sent more than 140 men off to war. Most of them volunteered, and then there was a draft. 44 of them did not come home. Think about that. Population of 1,000, we lost 44 men in the Civil War. And there they are on that monument. How could we not do them justice? The Span Am and World War I, Hubbardston answered the call again. In World War II, there are 146 names on that monument. 11 of the men did not come home. Our Korean War also saw activity. Fortunately, we didn't lose anybody. Now, those 204 names, 57 of those men and women served in country. We have 6 females. We have 8 that were wounded. Look at the names. We have 27 families that sent not one, but more than one off to serve our country during Vietnam. So our committee knew we had a bigger job to do, but we took it on, and I believe what you see today. Spend a minute down there. Look at those names, and you'll know that we wanted to give them the proper welcome home.
Now I would like to ask for the Vietnam era veterans to stand and be recognized. And stay on your feet, guys and gals. To join you now, I'd like to ask all veterans to stand to be recognized. And as the monument is unveiled, our green girls will be singing "God Bless America."
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mount to the prairie, to the ocean, white with fall. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Hey, Tom.
Eternal Creator, on this Memorial Day, we pray for those who courageously lay down their lives for the cause of freedom. May the examples of their sacrifice inspire in all of us the same selfless love they had for us, to give to others, and help us be courageous in a world that is forever changing. Thank you that today we may be inspired not to take anything we have for granted, whether it be toilet paper, toothpaste, water, food, a vehicle, a job, a home, friends, family, or a long weekend to just do whatever it is that we want to. I pray that you bless the families of our military, our first responders, our essential personnel that answered their last call, and fill their homes and their lives with your provision, your strength, and your peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Laura Foley, for playing taps, and young Sam Budwin for playing the response. The Vietnam Veterans Monument Committee and the Memorial Day Parade Committee thank you for your participation in this dedication program. Please join us across the street for free hot dogs, ice cream, and at the Senior Center, and that's all provided free. And also, there's some big machines over there you can look at. Thanks, everybody. Thanks. What a great day.